Hello, I'm Selena Potila, and welcome to our special 2023 year-end review. We will take you on a journey through some of this year's highlights, exclusive features, and a few of our jovial bloopers. First, let's go to a clip from Keweenaw Bureau reporter Thomas Fournier of his coverage of a Veterans Resource Fair held in August that included healthcare benefits, employment support services, and much more.
When a veteran comes home after deployment, reintegrating back into civilian life can be difficult, and it can be just as difficult to navigate benefits veterans receive for their service. At the beginning of August, the Copper Country Veterans Affairs Office plans to host a resource fair specifically for veterans and will include information on healthcare benefits, employment support services, and much more.
Yeah, so the purpose of the Veterans Resource Fair is to contact as many veterans in our area as possible to make them aware of their veterans benefits that they may be eligible for. It's especially important right now as we're coming up to about a year out from the implementation of the PACT Act, and there's a few deadlines for filing claims that could be affected by that. So we want to make sure that we reach as many veterans as possible, and that's our goal all the time.
There are two important information sessions during the fair. One will discuss the recently passed PACT Act. The second information session will discuss suicide awareness and prevention pertaining to the veteran community. Suicide
continues to be a problem that plagues the veteran community, and the Veterans Health Administration is pushing, along with veteran service organizations, to educate people on how to deal with that issue. So that's one of the briefings that we'll have at this event, and it's just a main focus because we want to obviously reduce the number of veteran suicides and get people to the care that they're eligible for.
Next, we go to a clip from September with former reporter Jacob Darner with his coverage of the Goose Marsh fire and an exclusive interview with Christopher Cox, DNR Forest Fire Officer Supervisor of the Newberry Field Office.
Hey you guys, I'm Jacob Darner. I'm in the Paradise area outside of Goose Marsh, where the Goose Marsh fire that the DNR has been fighting and supervising for the past 2 weeks was officially announced as extinguished yesterday. I caught up with Christopher Cox, the Chief Fire Officer Supervisor for the Newberry Field Office, who taught me just what goes into fighting a fire and that the job isn't over when the flames are out.
Yep, these are ones, so this was harvested.
Right.
And then trenched and then planted. And so now that we had a fire, we're going to have to go through and do what's called interplanting. We'll have to figure out how many more trees we're going to need, because you're going to have definite death, and it's kind of, you can see some of these areas, like this one, you can see there's a green one up there that's untouched.
Yeah.
The fire started a couple weeks ago on a Tuesday evening, and we were called in that night. We got a dozer line all the way around the fire and put in some control lines, started the process of mop up, continued it all day the next day, and then continued after that until now. Once we received no smokes, we do a progressive number of checks. We ended up with a rain-ending event, which was just over 1 3/4 inches of rain, and so yesterday would have been the 29th, we declared the Goose Marsh fire out.
Reporter Jessica Potila met with Ishpeming Mayor Jason Chapman to discuss the state of business in the small central UP town.
I visited with Ishpeming Mayor Jason Chapman to learn more about the town located in the Central Upper Peninsula, which he refers to as the gateway to the Western UP. With between 6,100 and 6,200 residents, Ishpeming may sound small, but as I learned on a stroll through downtown with Mayor Chapman, business in Ishpeming is bigger than people might imagine.
You know, Ishpeming has always been a very proud community. There's so much amazing support for the school system and the athletics here, as well as our community organizations.
During our walk through town, Mayor Chapman stopped off at Jackson's Hardware to purchase a few items and say hello to owner John Jackson, whose family-owned business has been a Main Street staple for generations.
Well, The business has been here since 1914. It's been on Main Street since 1945. It was started by my grandfather. And it's been a good place to do business for all those years just because of the people in the area that continue to come and support us. The businesses in the area have evolved over the years. Some stores have gone. We've got new stores coming in. And it looks like it's going to continue to be that way. And it's a good place to be.
Yeah, so Ishpeming's strengths is that we have a community that works hard. So we have been able to keep like Robin's Flooring Mill here. We have some new businesses coming in over the next year. And then we just have a good partnership with Eagle Mine, Cleveland Cliffs, and all of our small businesses here in Ishpeming as well.
We also met up with Debbie Leaf at Jackson's Hardware. Leaf owns several vacation rental properties in downtown Ishpeming, as well as the hair salon, The Beauty Boutique.
The reason why I own a business in Ishpeming is because of the community. And I think it's getting more exciting as the days go by. There's more vibrant people moving to the area. A lot of young families are moving here.
Ishpeming is seeking redevelopment-ready certification, which Mayor Chapman said he hopes will be complete by the end of this year, and if not, by the middle of next year.
Next, we go back to a clip from reporter Jessica Potila from October at the Northern Michigan University School of Cosmetology. She interviews instructor Charmaine Kane, who teaches students a cosmetology service that is all too lacking in the Upper Peninsula: how to style natural, textured hair.
Kane heads up the NMU Natural Hair Cultivation Program and is owner of Charmaine's Beauty Bar in Iron Mountain.
I have clients that come to my salon in Iron Mountain from all over. I mean, as far as like Houghton, Baraga, even Green Bay area, they travel to me regularly because they don't have salons in their area that have these services. I mean, our area in the UP is very diverse, you know, whether people realize it or not. And it's people of textured hair that have to drive to cities, you know, to go get their hair done. We have more biracial children now, you know, in the area, and just curly, you know, textured hair in general. You know, it's a special type of hair, and you just cannot go to any salon. You have to be skilled in taking care of it and manipulating it.
Kane describes some of the styles being taught to the students and which are now available for clients with natural textured hair who wish to set up appointments.
The services that we do offer are locking, lock extensions, wig making, wig maintenance. We also do braiding, box braids. We do twisting. We do silk presses. So we got a lot of good stuff going on here.
Kane said she hopes to see the program grow during the next summer enrollment period and already has new students signed up. She said you do not have to be a cosmetology student to enroll in the program.
What I want to say is that we are still enrolling for the summer program, even though the program is running right now in the fall. This is just our run-through. It is normally a summer program, so if anyone is interested in taking this program and getting an education in this field, we would love to have you.
A group that has grown to over 500 fans came together to celebrate their favorite American band, Foo Fighters. Earlier this month, I had an opportunity to speak to Jose Hurtado, one of these superfans all the way from Peru. For Foo Fighters fans, their music hits them to the core. A community of devotees spans from across the globe. Seeking fellow music enthusiasts, I jumped on a Foo Fighters forum where I chatted with a young woman who sent me photos of a performance in Peru her cousin helped organize. On December 3rd, hundreds of superfans performed My Hero live in Lima. A unique experience was created at the Plaza de la Artes by the use of indigenous instruments. Thanks to that young woman and her family, I got an interview with Jose Hurtado, one of the members of the Foo Peruvian Heroes. How did your organization reach out to hundreds of Peruvians to create this unique musical experience?
En 2011,
in 2011, me and a friend got a group together on Facebook and Instagram. Throughout the years, more friends that enjoyed the music of the Foo Fighters got involved. After the death of Taylor, the group became closer together and more people joined. They created a community chat on WhatsApp.
The song My Hero was chosen. Can you tell me what that song means to you?
La escogimos
They chose my hero because it's meaningful in the sense that we are all heroes. Heroes of our families, not just doctors, firefighters, good policemen. Every person is part of a family, and care is a family, and represents a family. So we are all anonymous heroes.
Foo Peruvian Heroes was inspired by the organization Rockin' 1000, which played the song Learn to Fly in the city of Cesena, Italy. Their upcoming performance will be published on Dave Grohl's birthday, January 14th, on their YouTube channel, Foo Fighters Peru. Reporting for ABC 10 News, this is Selena Potila. There's a lot more ahead tonight on this special year in review edition of ABC 10 News. When we return, reporter Trevor Freeman will highlight some of our notable outdoors and sports stories from 2023. But first, let's take a short break. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hello and welcome to our end of the year show. I am Trevor Freeman, and today we will be going over a few of our favorite moments from 2023. To start things off, we'll be casting a line with reporter Jessica Potila at the Republic Fishing Derby from earlier this summer.
We're here at the 33rd Annual Republic Fishing Derby, where the weather is beautiful and I'm told the fishing is great. Fishing enthusiasts of all ages reeled in good times and some solid catches at the Derby. One youngster even hooked an unexpected find, an old tennis shoe housing a crayfish. The compassionate boy returned the critter in the sneaker to its home in School Lake.
Actually, we've had a fantastic fishing tournament this year. We were able to completely fill our board up by noon yesterday, first day of fishing, and we've constantly gotten bigger fish since that time.
More than 260 adult anglers entered the tournament, as well as 104 children.
Well, this is about our community and particularly getting kids involved with fishing. Being a sportsman's club, an outdoors club, we want to get kids involved.
This year's winning walleye in the adult category measured in at 22 inches, while a 20 1/8 inch walleye topped the children's leaderboard. Prizes were also awarded for northern pike, bass, bluegill, and crappie. Funds raised at the Derby are distributed to community causes by the Sportsman's Club. The weekend-long event is family-friendly and offers fun for all ages. Saturday included live bands, a parade, fireworks, and even a 100-foot bonfire. Sportsman Club President Craig Van Beek said the fishing Derby will return next year, and he hopes to see everyone there.
Saturday nights are fantastic, so if anybody's looking to come back for a 34th, it's a good time.
From the 33rd Annual Republic Fishing Derby, I'm Jessica Potila with ABC 10 News.
Doesn't get a whole lot better than that, Jessica. Thank you. Next, we will be going with yours truly to some of the best rod makers in the business, Megs Custom Rods in Gwynn, for a look at what makes those rods so dependable.
Thing you do is you want to prep the handle for the blank, so you ream it out so it fits perfectly, and then if you need to add tape or whatever arbors you have, then you do that so you can slide it on there. And then we also offer like custom cork handles and all that stuff, but most retailers will get the stuff that we stock, that we keep in stock ready to go. But we have a huge selection of ice blanks, huge selection of open water stuff as well. So the cork we get straight from Portugal, and it's some of the highest quality cork you can get. It starts off in rings, and then we glue it together like that, and then the next day when it's dry, we put it on the lathe, and then we turn it down however we want it. You know, so we can pretty much do anything, and I think our cork is what really separates us from other rod manufacturers. So once we get the handle formed and prepped for the gluing process, then we glue them all by hand, make sure there's glue, make sure it's not going to come apart. This is probably the most meticulous out of the whole shop. So the next day, once the glue is dry, then we check the handle and then we tie the eyes on, and then the wraps and the logo. And this is something that you can, like with gluing, you have one shot. This, if you make a mistake, you can redo it. But so we tie the eyes on with a thread. It's pretty much like sewing, and you just have to be pretty clean with it, otherwise it affects your epoxy work. So this is about the final process after you go through and make sure the eyes are straight and all that. This is the second coat of epoxy that we're doing here. And then once we get this done, we dry it for about 12 to 16 hours.
If you would like to go check out some of Meg's work, go to www.megscustomrods.com. Moving on to one of my favorite videos that I've been able to put together for you, cooking up some bacon-wrapped venison backstraps and step-by-step how I did it.
Last but not least, reporter Trevor Freeman shows us step-by-step how he makes his scrumptious venison backstraps.
Hello and welcome. Today we will be frying up some teriyaki marinade backstraps. All you will need for this is some sea salt, roasted garlics and herb or your favorite rub, ground black pepper, always got to include the Lowry seasoned salt, 1 onion, and some garlic. This stuff is from my father, so it is very fresh, but any minced garlic will work. Then of course we have our backstraps that have been sitting in the fridge for the past 24 hours in teriyaki marinade, Coca-Cola, 1 sliced onion, and Worcestershire sauce. I will do a layer of Lowry's as well as your rub, or for me, herbs and garlic, then let sit for 10 minutes to soak in. From there, we will cook a few pieces of bacon, add some nice flavorful fat to cook our venison in. We'll end up grabbing this bacon and breaking it up to throw it back inside of the pan to cook with. Then we are going to slice and dice an onion and the garlic and then throw them into a bowl. Then we're going to add some olive oil, then some of that salt, mix well and lay in pan with the fat. Turn your temp down slightly to around medium heat and let onions cook for 1 minute before adding in the venison. You want those onions as caramelized as possible. Once that is ready, layer in your backstraps. Add another small layer of Lowry's and your broken up bacon bits into the pan and give 3 minutes on both sides of the venison cuts. Once that is complete, set the pan on a cold burner and let sit for 10 to 15 minutes. In the meantime, grab the bowl you used for onions and garlic, add a 1/3 stick of butter, and finally, all that brothy, bacony goodness in there and stir till thick. From there, just slice up your backstraps into finger food or however you prefer, dip and serve. This is my favorite recipe for venison, hands down. No game taste or toughness to it. This stuff will melt in your mouth. I'm Trevor Freeman with ABC 10 News. Back to you, Selena.
Good boy.
Thank you, Trevor, for that delicious dish.
Well, I can definitely say that when I get home, I'm going to be de-thawing some steaks. Now we move to some of the sports highlights from earlier this year.
How's it going, UP? I'm Mike Morak alongside Gabe Pickup.
That will wrap things up for me tonight. I am Trevor Freeman with ABC 10 News. Travel safe, stay classy, enjoy the new year, and have fun heading into 2024 Upper Peninsula. I hope you enjoyed these outdoor and sports highlights from 2023. Up next, reporter Jessica Potila will share with us some more news stories from this year, as well as a few of our broadcast bloopers. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hello, I'm Jessica Potila, and I'm so glad you are here. I hope you are enjoying this look at some of our favorite local news stories from 2023. A new documentary about the historic Nordic and Delft theaters premiered at the Fresh Coast Film Festival in October. Reporter Selena Potila had the opportunity to interview the directors of this historic film, Joseph Beyer and Jordan Anderson.
In your film, why did you focus on these two theaters in Marquette?
Marquette is the heart and soul of the story. So it's a historical journey across about 110 years of downtown Marquette's history, as told through, hopefully, the lens of these two iconic movie theaters that were directly across from each other. And each of them was somewhat extraordinary for its time. And so the idea that there could be two of these extraordinary movie theaters directly across the street from each other in such a small town was what initially attracted us to the story. We just thought, well, that's curious. And then it spiraled from there. So we didn't expect to be doing a story that spanned so much history, but as we entered into the story through someone's personal version of it, then we wanted to really understand it and understand everything about Marquette's cinema history. And we didn't expect it to be as interesting as it ended up being.
Can you explain what kicked off the research for this film?
We didn't discover this story. The story was presented to us. The hero of our story is this local kid, Bernie Rosendahl, who as a teenager was the last person ever to set foot in the Nordic before it closed. And he had this extraordinarily strong connection and memory with that place. And so through his quest, which was his own personal project to try and restore the Nordic, he found and discovered all of this history about the extraordinary architect that designed it and how big and vast the Delft cinema empire became.
Why should people see your film at the Fresh Coast Film Festival?
For anybody who's ever been presented with a second chance to sort of make something right and thought, should I go for it? Should I not? I think that this story will inspire you. It continues to inspire me, and it's just been a privilege to be immersed in it for the amount of time that I have been, that we both have. And so I think that this movie is, in a way, for everyone, because who can't relate to that?
Nothing says Upper Peninsula like respect for the great outdoors and all that nature provides. This year, we introduced a new weekly segment at ABC 10 News we call Wildlife Wednesdays. This week's Wildlife Wednesday comes to us from an anonymous viewer who lives in Ishpeming. This friendly gentleman captured video footage of a rafter of turkeys at his camp in the Sumi location. When I watch this video, I hear the Benny Hill theme song playing in my head. The viewer said, quote, "There are large flocks of turkeys all over the West End. Most of the time, they are pretty chill. Luckily, they aren't aggressive chasing any kids down the road," end quote. The viewer captured the turkeys with video cameras around the camp property and said most of the year there were about 8 members of the turkey gang. He said, quote, "The turkeys are usually around every day, but I haven't seen them since a couple days before Thanksgiving," end quote. Did the turkeys go into hiding before the holiday? Only time will tell if they return to the Sumi camp. For now, the viewer said he thinks the turkeys are still around, but stealthily avoiding his cameras. Thank you to this kind viewer for sharing this video with us. I attended the Lake and Inland Music Festival this summer. I hope you enjoy this peek back at some warmer weather and very happy concert goers. We're here at the Lake and Inland Sculpture Park for their annual music festival. Let's go see what it's all about. The Lake and Inland Music Festival returned for another successful run this weekend at the Lake and Inland Sculpture Park in Chocolate Township. The 2-day festival included many local musicians who donated their talent to the event. Friday evening saw hundreds of guests pour in as 3 acts took to the main stage, John Lajeunesse, followed by Whiskey Ryan and Catfish Kennedy, and finally the Luke O.J. Band. Owner Tom Lakeinen and his wife Lisa Lakeinen were on site to greet visitors. Tom Lakeinen started the free park more than 2 decades ago to provide tourists and community members alike an opportunity to camp, picnic, and admire the giant sculptures he created out of scrap metal to decorate the park. Lake and Inland also includes a stocked fishing pond for children to enjoy. Many visitors to the music festival camped out in tents at the park for the weekend. There are more than 100 sculptures at Lake and Inland to delight admirers of all ages. Lake and Inland is open to the public year-round and all are welcome. Coming to you from the Lake and Inland Music Festival for ABC 10 News, I'm Jessica Potila. Back to you, Jacob. Before leaving ABC 10 News, reporter Alexis Bauman helped many animals sheltered at UPAWS to find loving homes with her Pet of the Week segment. This one received thousands of views on our YouTube page. Meet Smokey the cat.
This is Smokey. He is a 13-year-old short-haired kitty. He is a part of the Lonely Heart Club members, meaning he has no adoption fee. Thanks to Swick Home Services, this sweet boy could be yours for free. Smokey is perfection when it comes to a social and cuddly cat. From a gentle head nudge to his sweet purrs, his true nature shines. Smokey has a sensitive stomach, so he requires a special diet, but that doesn't damper his spirits, so it shouldn't damper yours. Smokey was declawed in his front paws, but he hasn't lost hope for finding a compassionate human being to love. He holds the love and devotion that can only be found in a senior cat, and he brings the drool to let you know he is satisfied with your love. If you think this sweet boy, Smokey, could be the missing piece of your family, make an appointment at upaws.org. You can also read his full biography online. Gene Bauer once said, "It's a small thing to help one animal, but to one animal, it's a big thing." End quote.
Sometimes humans laugh at things they do not expect to find funny, and sometimes they cry over things that stir up emotions so deep they had forgotten them. The former was the case for me when I had to introduce a story about a dangerous otter and could not stop laughing, and the latter was the case for my cousin-in-law, Selena Potila, when she fought off tears while introducing a story about the death of a star who entertained her as a child and inspired her to take up playing with her very first yo-yo. To close the show, we go to Jupiter, Florida, where a man was bitten by a rabid otter 41 times.
I normally go out and feed ducks in the back.
No, it's supposed to be.
I remember watching the Smothers Brothers when I was a kid. Tom had a segment called The Yo-Yo Man that inspired so many children.
Oh.
I was crying.
Oh.
Jerk now.
Thank you, Andrew. I remember watching the Smothers Brothers when I was a kid. Tom had a segment called The Yo-Yo Man that inspired so many children, including me. Thank you, Tom, for being such a large part of my childhood. Sorry, guys.
Our staff created a Christmas skit, Studio Santa, to offer up something fun and original for our viewers. We had the most fun of all, though, in our attempts to film it. We hope these bloopers make you laugh as they did us.
Well, if it isn't my two favorite news anchors of the UP with the last name Potila. Welcome, my dear. How could I provide any less for my favorite news anchors of the favorite news channel in the world here at ABC 10 News?
I think we could
I have a bad idea.
Yeah, because I know they get hungry on their long journey.
Pulls. Oh, shit. Oh no, Jessica. I did not arrive at your wonderful station with my reindeer.
How the frick did you get? Oh my god.
Don't look right at the camera.
I'm not looking at you.
Hey, wait, I was recording.
We are about to make our favorite stops of the...
Look more determined. Come on.
At Upper Michigan's favorite news station, ABC 10.
Why, whatever has you...
You are so reliable, just like ABC 10 news station. Oops.
Chris.
Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everybody.
Can we get the consensus on if we're saying everybody?
I said hair Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everybody.
We want to thank you for watching this special New Year's Day edition of ABC 10 News.
We hope you enjoyed the many local news stories from 2023 we shared with you today. To see more stories from throughout 2023, visit our YouTube page.
And we all certainly do hope to see you again soon. But most of all, we wish you a fantastic 2024. Wait, no.